This man lived a much different life before ending up in prison. Watch how it all happened. Welcome to Movie Mix Recap. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button for more interesting video. Once a loyal member of the Harpers, a secretive network of spies, meddlers, and peacekeepers devoted to fighting evil and injustice, Regé-Jean sought to maintain balance and protect the innocent. However, his world was shattered when he made a fatal enemy. After successfully arresting a red wizard, one of the notorious spellcasters from the dark and dangerous land of Thay, Regé-Jean became a target. In retaliation, the red wizard's fanatical followers tracked down and murdered Regé-Jean's wife. Her death left him devastated and disillusioned, especially since he was left to raise their young daughter, Kira, alone. Unable to find justice through the usual means, and desperate to care for Kira, Regé-Jean abandoned his noble ideals and turned to a life of crime. He teamed up with Holga Kilgore, a fierce and battle-hardened barbarian who became not just his companion, but a surrogate aunt to Kira. Together, they joined forces with a small group of misfits. Simon Aumar, a timid but well-meaning sorcerer still coming to terms with his powers. Forge Fitzwilliam, a silver-tongued rogue and con artist, and Sophia, a mysterious and powerful woman who rarely spoke of her past. Their crew began staging heists, gradually building up their fortune through increasingly bold jobs. Regé-Jean, however, had a deeper motivation behind the thievery. His true goal was to obtain a powerful artifact known as the Tablet of Reawakening, a magical item capable of bringing someone back from the dead. With it, he hoped to resurrect his beloved wife. Eventually, the team raided a secure Harper stronghold where they believed the tablet was kept. During the heist, however, Sophia's true colors began to show. Things went sideways, and only Regé-Jean and Holga were captured while the rest of the crew escaped with the loot, including the tablet. 2 years later, Regé-Jean and Holga were still imprisoned at Revel's End, a harsh and icy prison located in the frigid north. Tired of waiting for a pardon, they finally made a daring escape and journeyed south to Neverwinter, the prosperous coastal city they once called home. Upon arriving, they were stunned to discover that Forge Fitzwilliam had somehow risen to power and was now serving as the city's lord. Even more shocking, Forge had taken custody of Kira and was raising her as his own, spinning a false tale that Regé-Jean had been arrested due to his unchecked greed. As Regé-Jean and Holga tried to reunite with Kira, it became painfully clear that she had grown distant and believed Forge's lies. The final betrayal came when Sophia reappeared, revealed as a red wizard who had manipulated the entire team from the start. She and Forge had conspired to frame Regé-Jean and Holga, ensuring they were removed from the picture while the others seized the tablet and the city. When Regé-Jean and Holga confronted them, Sophia ordered their execution, but the duo narrowly escaped again. Now fugitives once more, Regé-Jean and Holga vowed to reclaim the tablet, expose Forge's treachery, and prove their innocence to Kira. They aimed to do it during the upcoming High Sun Games, a citywide festival and competition that Forge was using as a spectacle to maintain his popularity. To carry out their plan, they needed help and sought out their old ally, Simon. Despite his self-doubt and clumsy spellcasting, Simon agreed to join the cause. Knowing Forge's vault was heavily protected by magical defenses, specifically enchantments derived from the legendary wizard Mordenkainen, Simon realized they would need an ancient artifact called the Helm of Disjunction. This powerful helm could cancel out any magical barriers. To locate it, the group needed more allies and brought on Doric, a shape-shifting druid who could transform into animals at will. She had her own reasons to join the fight. Her woodland community was being destroyed by illegal logging orders that Forge had approved. The team devised a plan. Doric used her abilities to turn into a fly and infiltrate Forge's castle, discovering that the vault was indeed shielded by powerful arcane protections. With confirmation, the group headed to a nearby graveyard where they used a necromantic talisman to temporarily resurrect corpses and interrogate them about the helm's whereabouts. The dead provided a name, Zenk Yandar, a noble and nearly perfect paladin who had fled Thay after witnessing the horrors committed by the Lich Sas Tam, who had transformed much of the population into his undead army. When the group finally located Zenk, they found him to be impossibly virtuous and noble to a fault. He agreed to help retrieve the helm, but only after making Regé-Jean swear to use any wealth they gained to help the people, not themselves. True to his word, Zenk led the team deep into the perilous Underdark, an ancient and twisted underground realm full of danger. Along the way, they recovered a teleportation staff from Holga's ex-husband, a halfling who still held fondness for her despite their differences. They eventually found the helm, but not without difficulty. Thyan assassins attacked them on Sophia's orders, and they barely escaped, evading death at the claws of the unusually fat and oddly dangerous red dragon Themberchaud. With the helm in hand, their next obstacle was mastering its power. Unfortunately, Simon struggled to wield it. His insecurities prevented him from bonding with the helm, so the team changed tactics. Instead of disabling the magic, they decided to use the teleportation staff to bypass it entirely. Their plan was to sneak into the vault during the chaos of the High Sun Games. However, when Simon and Holga entered the vault, they found it empty and rigged with a magical trap. Meanwhile, Sophia, disguised as Kira, captured Regé-Jean, revealing that she had known their every move. The team was rounded up and forced into the games as contestants in a deadly arena, where they were pitted against terrifying monsters for public entertainment. Using their wits and teamwork, they managed to escape the arena and regroup. They soon discovered that Forge was preparing to flee the city with all the treasure aboard a ship. The group caught up, stole the boat, and rescued Kira in the process. But the danger was far from over. They learned that Sophia had engineered the entire event to lure a massive crowd into the stadium, intending to repeat the same horrific spell that had cursed Thay, turning everyone into undead soldiers under her control. Acting quickly, the team used the teleportation staff to transfer Forge's stolen gold into a hot air balloon, scattering the coins across the city. The crowd rushed out of the stadium to gather the falling treasure, unintentionally saving themselves from the undead curse. Enraged at her failure, Sophia launched a final assault. She unleashed devastating magic, including a time-stopping spell, but Simon, now fully confident in his abilities, was able to disrupt it. Kira, using the invisibility pendant Regé-Jean had once given her, snuck up and placed an anti-magic bracelet on Sophia. Powerless and cornered, the Red Wizard was defeated after an intense battle. However, the victory came at a cost. Holga had been mortally wounded. As the group mourned her, Regé-Jean was faced with a choice: use the tablet to revive his long-dead wife, or save Holga, who had become like a sister and second mother to Kira. Realizing that his original desire to bring back his wife was rooted in selfishness, and that Holga had become a true member of his family, he used the tablet to revive her instead. With the crisis over, the deposed Lord of Neverwinter was restored to power and publicly declared Regé-Jean and his companions heroes. As for Forge, he was sent to Revel's End for his crimes, where he foolishly tried to escape as Regé-Jean and Holga once had, but failed, receiving no pardon for his actions.
If you enjoyed this video, please do well to like, subscribe, and comment on what movies you want us to review for you. Also, turn on the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of our videos. Thanks, and see you in the next video.